Yup matie kabieno. La kelia ye.
Sam's Crisip obengira mwera madano weng mare Uganda. Jami pa Sam's timapo likine obero Crisps melayata, Crisps megonja, cookies, odi, berenge kemukene mapola ta. Nong jami pa Sam's Snacks e supermarket duju matilo baman. Sam's Snacks, noa pora mamite.
Cheng bara jama tika chu malengo twal me niro dua ye piario we chel me dwe ma pa we chel mwa kali vario ki piario we ario 2022 no wise studio wa me one lo TV kakelu iwo yupwa me Rupiny Tin yakloni ema akware tin ya yo mada daka ye ateke la wora sara don kakelu iwo yupman choni ning super lady
achoma be no iti merwa ndike yup me sports
Sarah, weekend wati jam packed from last week watika lokani waniket Pat Robert la rowi pete bedi Zombo on Friday Saturday Pat foot period dugu la wo bedi kalon super lady team attack ko twali Friday undugu chambi chel tinti office hard working woman itini ning Sarah
ati ma be initini ning
inen maleng kigen ireki kitengeni erode
African woman ingeo beretin Senegal botoro so ka Senegal botoro command and the fact that moro lobo me Africa lobo del chol umiere be ko look rook bon money ma we go one ben wanin chalo wati dan lotino me lobo del chol
exactly.
And we are proud African and also a marbe we that Afro style
spirit me African
Pan-Africanism
exactly Ojone welcome back dare studio wakany me Rupiny Tin wa missing in
yes
you beri Zombo on Friday uberining
Emma, kung ma-achel ko miyer ka fo wun mo bero bene studio because wabero ka kupeke du kipiny kono wan wabero Zombo won wabero kanye studio ubero kupeno bero mabet tuwal moro lok ma technology okelo ento for ma dit beno miyer chet bola dit Max adi station manager ma en chiambich ubero producer ma mega la dit station manager roke smart mo Emma pa nyoke ner bone
pa wana kamera nyuro in me ken penyoro la dit
yo timoraj Emma la dit ururo koti ururo waki kanzo la dit ururo typical culture way African style
adawe
ubero smart mo iwaini mane na choli prince
adada anyway
so Zombo bero mamet tuan dano chwali umot dano mar one wo TV dano na program mekwa kudiro wa utiere di wo wen no dano gitiglu gikanena one wo TV gipera ke specific program ngi wayne ko wa marli and gimaro actually all the programs yeah so gen mo kena be go wayne gimar the fact that ni waloro leblan waloro lebalu leba
we wan wen chelwe
wayne one wen waluo so mono teach mate go foi wono teach that is the remark ma ki gang Zombo kono
foi to Sara dongo beri chen beach kaneno kit makwe me kwero tela pa Ubimu Roth meke kwaro alu Sara in machalo la tien me ngom is Zombo district meneno kit makwe no woro kere bedak me be tela kuplo kange journalist bedak me be chalom la chin wi be machon woro idinining
ma chel kong an kong miera afo kong dano me Zombo ka fo gi kile ba lu ka du gile ba chobi dano me Zombo wa fo yo magwei mar munyuto ni dano ma saga na unyuto mar ni robemo Philip la ular ki rauni mira deg ni ko me bedo ka kuiru or par mira parario ni bedo ko di kom ker chalo obemo mira lur mira rio kendo kitema jojolo ko jadit wi lobo president Yoweri Museveni an kuwesh mamit me wechu kitema kura mo mite kwaro pa jalur beneno ko deni daro lembe minyodo pa wiya matindo yash pa nyira matindo man ken ger migi manango or migi podoro mongo obedo le maleng piny mat pirate maneno zo bedo lembe pa kush woro a wiya lur war doka foyu magwe ulutira lu war
Agi war da ina ana chama ber ka connecting kiri unity lo kana ti studio guri line very peacefully peti tele peti yoke dana wing ti line ati ada da ina wabir kana na ke kanyo wa yoma iwamada
ya lu ka wajo ki danu juini alu giti chalo inero kirma danu wajo kire danu metoro mon gine to tuwan
oh yes
alu beneti kumeno enene
alu are the version
but the version patoro in the Luo culture I mean in the Luo gene dialect gen pegi mar lok me ko tutuan kadi no ni gen mon tika yelu yelu no ni alu pobu loko tutuala that's why nano ni for so long Jemi Machalo infrastructure development man gen guberu ka loko pierre to la dit president Museveni lok pa guru ma rejo lok pa urijan ma rejo enani for so long uberu ka time uberu tie because alu pegu beru dana ani gi mar lok but by the way with the time Joy will be a paludo tika te why no way kari no ni one beki why wa mol do mier do pe wa de be dong Jemi want ka karmaraj pe to wer lo ne so that is it but generally go be dana ma war man be ne gi mol gere an gi maro dano ineno kire gi mun ya chunyo to kire mar wot achana o ber ka lokere go be ma mol ma go ni lok pal wot achana chama woro chero why ni wot achana lo Jemi ma be
i lo ko men Sara tin yu po me Rupiny Tin watika dorne ma pat wa waji wicha biet mo karane ni weekend wa bo bedo krale monoti bedo no kalongane ni jam paps cheng a beach wa beri Zombo district ma Sara dong la wora ki kome super lady u bedo kono ka kili iwa yup eni so amir kong wa nen kong lok me nen no kit ma kwe no wor kere yunge wa duk dak ma chera e kalon kaneno kita kwe eno wor kere weng we bedi ki ker me nyamne weng kan ichawa me lok lobo amir kong wa nen kong video eni manyoro kit ma kwe wor kere is Zombo district
Ubimu, the king of the Arurs, their highnesses, the traditional leaders, the honorable ministers, and members of parliament and other leaders,
member mi parliament ku judongo mukende sheke
and Ruak Me Alur Duchu.
Emo tu ku dalur na ke gamo ku muzira manuang de do.
Nedi. Afoyo. I would like to use this occasion to congratulate His Highness Ubimu on his 12th anniversary occasion.
Amita tinkare ma ni foyo Ubimu I oru pare mira para rione.
The NRM restored the cultural leaders after a careful study.
NRM udwogu jutela mite deru cheni ker manuangu gingiyu ilembe matut.
In Uganda and even in other African countries, there had been a clash between the traditional leaders and the new political forces.
Nuangu I Uganda eni kukabedu mukende gishde telo tol mo ku beditin jutela mite deru ku governmente manuangu dongi mondi kura manyen.
This is because the two were based on different principles.
Enike kura minyang migisha ku telembe migisha uyenyu kosh pa governmente de bedutung pa tederu de bedutung.
The traditional institutions were based on inheritance.
Mite deru etienia lago ker.
While the political institutions were based on elections.
Pa government ke ushungi wiyer yerodano.
Wafoyo ajoli wiyamu wanlo TV.
Shake a bear.
Jaipo, Lawrence, Parangala, Prince, it's all okay. But today is a big day. Nini madid, nini Ubimu, nini madid wana luru cheke, nini madid wajulu cheke. Yene ni wana luo da jel. Oga tin luo da chana, merario me acholi tekai. Loprigo me madi drani tekai. Kurudi mu kere cheke mu ay kabiri matong tong. Kurudi mu ay Congo. Cheke tekeni, kurudi mu na luru, me lo guara tekeni. Kom ni dama kumeni ni mapoipe culture. Culture can unite us. Culture can make us progress if you use it correctly. You want to follow television, one television, if you are covering function ma any, because Juluo makete kare chike gine ni ya aluru gite any. We are not few. We are about 7-8 million people. We are one of the many people in terms of population in Africa. So we are very proud of our culture, and we are in West Nile with different other ethnic groups, which means we are experiencing what we call culture in diversity. We are very happy here. We don't quarrel with anybody. We are peace-loving people. We are hospitable. We are people who support government.
Afoyo ajoli magwe iwanluo TV afoyo tishizo afoyo lebe cheke mibe temo ke mot danu peri magibe neni.
Amoto dano cheke magi beneno wa watie I attack seed wa be kwiru nindu mira para rione nyo oru mira para rione pa ke turuot mwa Philip Larke gemiri dano cheke tie ka ke ni ka kod bilalo binenu kitema dano ponkodo ento madita meta foi won ngom President Museveni mumiki wa kony tent makakai na kautundungo kakai kokomu kendegi etie gen man etie yung pikeralur ma en kukume wachunia en etie jalur en nyinge tie jalkunga oma kukuju weke kalembe palur tie kawoni wabe kure tiene yobre ni binu eyu ni binu ebini
mo ay ko de wan luo TV kendi makendu akendu jam ker ma o shakre shor ma mungu shiu polo ko ngom o mego ko ker ching ruodi jam ker machon joneno gi anena kai kendo gi so pin makendo ma ni kanang walunge lungu manda poshu jam gwoko pin parwood maka ibe shidi luar isidi chokri isidu kakamoku pin moku tie ma pigitek gagi
I bring you greetings from Acholi during this 12th coronation anniversary, and I wish you a happy celebration and are in solidarity with you and your people. Your Majesty, thank you for inviting me to be part of your history in a relation which we had been sharing since the time of our great ancestors, Gipi and Lebon. Although they separated bitterly, it is upon us to reconcile their spirits and their descendants, because we need one another as relatives, neighbors, and more so as Ugandans, socially, economically, and politically, for a better Uganda. Your Majesty, recently I visited Zambia at the invitation of Overland Mission and the Forum for African Traditional Leaders, where I had a chance to interact with the traditional leaders from some African countries. Thanks to the King of Madi, who is the spokesperson of the Forum for African Traditional Authority. Your Majesty, I realize that we are far behind with just some residual power over cultural matters, are not able to do much for our people compared to these kings and queens that I met in Zambia. Those kings and queens have significant power and authority For example, some have authority over natural resources in their local areas, while others have powers over administration, though limited in a bicameral system to a certain level of their countries. This not only puts them in their proper place in their community, but functional as well and befitting. It is something that we need to study carefully and where possible, cope with those aspects that may not lead us into trouble. It has been quite challenging for some of us as we toil and labor to govern our people amidst uncertainties. How can a poor and hungry king provide adequately and ably in their leaderships to their subjects who are equally poor and hungry? How can we help to mitigate problems like poverty, disease, poor education, when you live in indebtedness, almost unable to provide adequately for yourself and family, leave alone operation of the bigger institution? We are just struggling because we are not well endowed with resources. Unfortunately, most of us from the east to the greater north of Uganda fall in this category of struggling traditional leaders, as our forefathers did not accumulate generational wealth for themselves, but kept most resources in trust for their people, for example, land, and also in some instances suffered in historical injustices. I know that traditional leaders are supposed to be looked after by their people, but what happens where they are not able, for one reason or another? Should they be condemned to extinction? This brings me to the chief guest. Your Excellency, we want to thank you very much for all the support that you have been giving us. That has made us push forward.
For the 12 minutes, Chel Kidwan Muberu Kakati Enone Kit Mekwero Tela Paroth Ubimu Me Alu Muberi Zombo District Iching a beach La Wara Sara Dongo Beru Konum Kadnano Kitma Kwe Enone Worker Sara of course in the Berry field and Dagabi Penidaka ye Dano it may look at gay Minister Freedom Kwe may look at gay in Anna Lock Pa La Ditlover President Yoweri Museveni Lock pa what actually David Nan Achana. Lock my bed to ma kelu lock me ripe.
Kacha konki lock pa minister. Grace Kuichwin wa lock kere not just because of the minister me northern Uganda. Enter beru la wi kilwani committees ya committee gumo beru ki yop ene mapapat. So beru the chairperson and Grace Kuichwin dan ma pengeo ko mier gungeni kumbetini lar ker obemo ruot me adu tiki geno gen ma ditu twale e kom en mar lok pa culture ineno beno wajo ka kan en ni mo bero ka shuar ndani la dit lobo obu bino ento gene ma en minister gitika championing ya du yore maneri magitwer ka tiyo ki yajo palo tira nyira matino
theme ubero eno
that was the theme theme enani ubero theme appear tek twal kom ema ke cher ya lu kumbeti angeni even in Acholi it is rampant ento politician ka go nyako chingi kar chiel ki traditional leaders nyolo tela me ke kwaro mapapa ti Uganda tutwale ilobo luo wa ya Acholi lao ya lu of course why japadola itororo ka gutemo kelo gure bichinki ka chiel then jeme el no wanya botom. That was the message pa gene pa minister. It was not political by the way because now dana maberu with different political gene background guberu tie lok pala did loba bi loko ye last gen mo kene what achana mo bere one of the key guests welo magene maladit Obemo Philip Ulwo ladit o wajo an statement ma picking from him obere lok pak reconciliation
yes
reconciliation kilebluo ki wani riutal
yes
riutal kom ki ngeyo kirma ki pi nyipi kila bon kirma gi poke kere pegu poke yore mabet twal and cases enoni nyalam enoni no futie so en wajeni en it is upon lotino luo medong me bero pin enoni lo kuma lu ki acholi ki japa dola ki luo mi Kenya wen because gin wen lagi wuchare kom joario en gipir kila bon so cases mu bero tie enoni dong it is upon dana makumbeti ni luo makumbeti mumier gin ko bet pin guri pemena ni lok enni ki ngolo
ama lok par ruot wa me actually David Onena chana kiro waje kene asara of course kalu tela ripe wan lu te derabe no ngoma gen wa ripe lok ma ti le mo waje profound issues ke kan lok me ripe lok me mare lok me tiuti me yemo chan ki bene o lego dak bene foy la dit lo pi koñ mo ber ka koñ ne koño kere gen lu tela gen ma pat pe me actually gen ma lu me to amar lok pa
the cultural leaders me Uganda tena me culture Uganda ento genu ken ma wipi wil kere ko bere tie ma en speech ma mege ma ana marking out
yes
mo wajoni e cher Zambia no ni ker kwar me Zambia gimio government mio powers ki jo me ke kwar me Zambia mai no ni gen gitiki tero me timu tichi te dero man bere lok machalo me land conflict ngo gini wen land lok me land grabbing mayo lobo kono ki ngo gini wen inoni ke kware Zambia kono no gen gitikite en ento igamente pa Uganda jo me ke kwar ki pere ki duon to twal wi o ka ku katwa ko wen ema in pay wek la chon nyo sara in do nyari tika po ma fur mo ngane po romo o mier water vuch dana pe winyo duongi because gi wine gin gi peke kingo kitako so no tika kwa government umiero ki mini gin some traditional powers mano gin gi tikere
authority on power my young chon
authority of power my young choni we kong gin guchanga however president Museveni retaliating wine en bene ne tamo kumeno ento intelligence report onyoro bene maki waje ireni kaki miu gene tero maduong tutwal ki ke kwara mapapat then gindo botiu ki gene tel ki powers enemy me chaka taking sides in politics inoni becoming partisan and of which he doesn't want that but even regardless of that wangema be most of the care kwara Uganda giti partisan giti political
lok mo kana ma ruot David Onen chana waju lok me gene me chan ma ku bere waje kamaleng ni ngi mera ni ma chalu ruor nyolo tela mete kwaro lu te dera miro gwakge kira chek waje ke nyo kit me culture laws waje ke ka dong lu te dera dana be dong gi pegi chana chingi te lokani gena ngo ma go me ki lu tela ma mege chan ti o ma diet ma chan eni chake wa ki history ma chon ma lu kwarwa pe go gwako lonyo menero ni kumbeti ruode magiti ken pengi giramo taking over lonyo en utir lok mabe badaka mar
go chair by the karwata kila diet idwe ma chiel go kwayo ni kano kachopere lo tela meke kwar mapapat me Uganda Buganda Choli Law Lu Genetoro and the rest dwe ma chiel mwaka mabino go chair chankwanzi for week a chiel mumier gin gor wata kila dil lobo ko kenyu en go cer ka lokon ngoma tika yelo gitu twan and la dil lobo okay dit when yes that is okay but in my opinion wate en ni get bear and if I give you from my own perspective anoni somewhere when it down pol ka go cer cham kwanza in most cases sometimes gidugu no at times lok magiloko pay doc noti in line kilok madano ti kameto and my prayer is kago cher kunu doge pek dogu dug man they are more political no tam go lokeo so mon gina pira tek but pa mir wero topic ene ma football lo ko kwach pa obemo lar ke rawni o lo clear de lok pa lo tino anyira matika yajo ene ni lok ma pira tek totual mo miero government o kongi totual achiel inoni Ubimu wajini dano mapol magiti culprits go bano lok kitero gi police ka kitero gi police 2 days kigonyo gio now defilement we have sanitized defilement waluni defilement actually and one time I was listening to ngarmo some African writer but wani Dharma Polo sanitizing defilement in Africa nyo wilobo pa muni wani defilement is rape because ki latin mamwane pu romo ibedo kere moro gera no chalo
latin be poye romo be both defilement and rape at the same time.
Yes, exactly. So we have sanitized this, but however regardless Ubimu tika fighting. And then the other thing, ma chairperson LC5 Zombo district, kwat ma mege bola dit president Museveni, James Uruni, Urona wani lokpa guidi is Zombo district, nebi kipa kwach. Kainero on the whole of entire northern Uganda, by the way. Cheri Karamoja, Chaki Karamoja, Bini Lounge sub-region, Acholi sub-region, West Nile, tutuwale that Allure belt. Pakwachi wani chero kere Zombo, then idonye kere Vora, then via Congo like that. A low land for talk chain completely and ginko wani they want roads to be worked on and wafaroba ni President Museveni the speech ma mege ma talk chain mano do buti okay why lokpa infrastructure development me Zombo district ki greater nebi erni then gudumuka I think around gere oboing kuno omier kitiwi and however and gera war na tie la dito making pronouncement niki bi fiu gudu ento la dit po meyo time frame
la dir lo sara tinyor iwa ma dir dak ma tek to la mero chwale focho ma dir bu beri Zombo mete u cherwa I gago ma wa mero foyo mama ente kanyor no beri I ching a beach kama super lady sara dongo beri e kono kaneno kitma kwer tela pa Ubimu rough make kwara lo worker mwaka pa wiario ma ki kwer ker en American wachet wa yu mana kada kwa duko mete ki yupwa me Rupiny Tin kudiko mecheng baraja ini.
Yup mai beru kaneno ne lekelia ye
Sam's Crisip obero gira mwera madano weng mare Uganda. Jami pa Sam's timapo likine obero crisps melayata, crisps megonja, cookies, odi, berenge kimukene mapola ta. Nong jami pa Sam's snacks e supermarket duju matile waman. Sam's snacks, noa pora memite.
Mana ye One TV ngejmati kigalwang
Waluo TV dogo choro kimich me karama me mwagari bario kipiera rio wiario ni chake dwe mapa wiachiel
Lo mich me karama ma wile tiwa ali miachiel neno kineno kai neno watugu we man